لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. There is no other God except for you, O Allah. There is no other one who is worthy of worship except for you. Subhanaka, you are free from every blame. You are free from every defect. You are free from anything that I have done wrong myself. You are free from anything that anyone else has attributed to yourself that is wrong. Inni kuntu minal zalimin. I am the one who was wronged himself. You say that to Allah. Allah says, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Thus, we saved Yunus from the belly of the whale. We took him out, and just like this, every believer until the day of judgment, every believer, I will help them, I will save them through this dua. كَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So you say that. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. First admit to your fault in front of the Mighty One. The Mighty One loves you, my friend. The Mighty One loves you. Doesn't He love you? While you sin, He still feeds you. While you sin, He still clothes you. While you sin, He still gives you your daily bread. He gives you water. He gives you food. He gives you salary end of the month. He gives you a nice wife. He gives you children. He's given you hundreds and thousands of gifts that Allah has given. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. You try and count Allah's gifts. You try and count them. It's impossible, Allah says. You will not be able to count my gifts. And what you sit there complaining about Allah, that Allah gave you this one little musibah, 10 musibah, so what? 10 afflictions, so what? Allah hasn't looked after you. Allah hasn't given you. Just look at, subhanAllah, you just think about it. Just the eye itself, 1 million processes go through that for you to see. A second, 1 million processes within the eye itself, within every brain cell itself. Allah hasn't done that to you. Allah hasn't given you an earache or a toothache or a stomach ache or a leg pain or whatever it is, and you're crying and you're complaining about something else that's happened. So now come to the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. If you're in a political situation like Nuh alayhi salam, read the dua that is in Surah Al-Qamar. Say, Rabbi inni maghlubun fantasir. Rabbi inni maghlubun fantasir. Whether it's political situation globally, locally, whatever it is, even in your household, is a political situation. Oh my Lord, inni maghlub. I am someone who's been overcome. Fantasir, so help me. Say that. Carry on repeating that. See if Allah doesn't come to your rescue. See if Allah doesn't come to your rescue. But one thing you do is you put your faith in that. So the believer has his yaqeen and tawakkul. His trust in Allah and his deep faith in Allah. That this is going to happen. Don't be like that believer or like that person who says, I'm doing this dua, but I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I've said it, but it didn't work for all these days. I don't know if it's going to work. That's shaitan for you. You be a believer, say, this will work insha'Allah. I'm not doing any major sins. Why shouldn't it work? You don't do any major sins, inshallah bi'idhnillah it will work. You're doing all your ta'ah, you're doing all your obedience, whatever little you can for Allah, it will work. Say, it will work. It will work. So that's what the believer needs to do. Ud'u Allah wa antum muqinuna bil ijaba. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, make dua to Allah when you have full faith that it will work, that Allah will accept it. Not that kind of heart that might not work. This is where the believer fails. If the believer says it might not work, no, don't do that. But if some of that comes, then say, La ilaha illa anta. La ilaha illa anta. Oh Allah, there is no one except for you. Hasbünallahu wa ni'mal vekîl. Allah suffices us, and the best of dependents. That's beautiful dua for a lot of the masa'ib, a lot of the difficulties you're in. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught this to us. And the Sahaba that use that, it's in the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, ayah number 173, you will find it there. And Ibrahim alayhi salam used it in the fire. A beautiful dua. So if you're in any situation, you can use this. If you're in a situation where you've lost, you're in some kind of stress, or you want basically Allah Azza wa Jal to find you someone, use the one that Yaqub alayhi salatu used. إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. I am putting my complaint time, putting whatever I have inside me in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. All my grief is with Allah. And what do you say? وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. I delegate all my matters, all my affairs, all my problems. I delegate them. I leave them with Allah. I leave them with Allah. This is what Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam said. This is also a dua used by one of the believers in the time of Fir'aun. Allah recorded that in Surah Al-Mu'min, in the 40th Surah or Surah Ghafir, whichever name you want to say. وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. To Allah all my matters are delegated. Allah said in the Holy Quran what? أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِكَافٍ عَبْدَهُ. Isn't Allah enough for His servant? When you come to Allah and you say what? Ya أَحَدَ مَنْ لَا أَحَدَ لَهُ. O one who is the only one for the one who has no one. For the one, me the servant who has no one. O Allah, you are the one for the one who has no one. Ya sanada man la sanada lah. O supporter of the one who has no supporter. In qata'a ar-raja'u illa mink. All my ties of getting help, all my hopes of getting help, everything has broken off. The only one that has remained is yourself, Allah. See, this is the kind of heart you have to have for Allah, accepting your dua. And they say in the ahadith, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. Various ahadith, the Sahih hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, the one who says that, his dua is accepted. So you say that, Ya Hayyu, O one who is ever living, Ya Qayyum, O one who governs all affairs, who keeps everything running, who governs all states, who governs all my affairs, all my problems, everything is within your hands. Ya Hayyu, O one who is ever living, one who will never die. Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghith. Through your help I am seeking. Through your rahmah, through your mercy, I am seeking your help. You say these words and with yaqeen, you think Allah will not solve your problems. Allahu Akbar. Once, when I'm in deep, I've been in a deep problem a couple of times. What you do is you get up in the night, in the middle of the night, and you just say these words to Allah. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghith. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal vekîl. Ni'mal mawla wa ni'man nasir. Hasbunallah means Allah is enough for me, and Hasbunallah means Allah is enough for us. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal vekîl. Ni'mal mawla wa ni'man nasir. You say that a few times in the depths of the night, in the darkness to Allah when no one is with you. I will tell you that just as Allah solved my problems, He will solve your problems.